Welcome to FTL City Showdown. I'm AJ and I'm joined with Steve and Andre, and we have a game to talk about. Steve, you want to take it away?
We are here to discuss a match that technically happened in Colorado. I'm sure you guys remember that the game was started in a very ominous beginning to the point where it seemed like nature did not want City to actually complete this game. Even Mother Nature's like, maybe y'all should just not do this tonight. And there was lightning in the area, and it wound up being like a 90-minute delay. Literally, nature made us wait an entire match to start the match again. It was like 6 minutes in, and we had to wait a full 90 minutes. And City just came out and did what we do. Andre, what were your impressions of the match overall? Because I think we should focus on having fun and not the fact that we are now 11 weeks without a win. So what did you think about the match overall?
I thought it was we had a guest come over, and I kind of joined the game late. I joined the game like 10 minutes after it started.
So did City.
Right. So I was gonna say, and I felt like, oh man, what am I missing? And I wasn't missing anything. And I started watching a comedy special, and I came back to it, and the game was still on delay. So, all things considered, at least we didn't lose by more.
Yeah.
So silver linings. I mean, it's at this point we kind of what was it? Third week in the season, I was confused as to who our team is. Now I know for a fact who the team is.
Yeah. I think the identity for this team is being set. So y'all can't see AJ, but he is actually celebrating his birthday camping, and he took time out of his birthday to watch this mess, and now he's talking about it. So AJ, why do you hate yourself again?
Well, there's this whole book that describes me, and it's the DSM-4. And yeah,
Just got all
it definitely takes a special person. I was out camping. I had my iPad set up. We're running off of a hotspot, watching this game on this little screen. And I would love to say that we watched some kind of exciting game. Same thing that we did last year, but at least last year there was a team with identity and something going on. This, however, not so great. This was not the birthday present that I was hoping for.
Yep.
Yeah, that happened.
All right. So when the lineups came out, I did not really know what to think. And I think that we thought that we would have another kind of boring match. But I don't know what you guys saw, but I saw a group of players out there that seemed to be really trying hard. But it's like they're just not good enough. I didn't see a team out there that was giving up on Olaf. I didn't see a team that didn't really know what they were. However, I saw a team that's just not good enough. When Toiker takes that, Klaus makes an awesome dispossession and then kicks it right to Toiker, and Toiker's right down right at the goalie, and he kicks it right to the damn goalie instead of doing anything else. That was just like, this is our season. Now, Andre, you noticed that after the deflection came out, Klaus was right there following up behind, but he fell or something. What did you wind up seeing on that play?
Yeah, so I wonder if the field conditions, because of the storm, it just made it so that, Teutsch kicked it, the goalie deflected it, and Klaus was in position to literally take a shot back, but it seemed like as soon as it got close to him, he just slipped. He just ate it, and I wondered if the conditions made for it or it was just lack of preparation. Maybe they got a little too cold from the long break from the weather. So but ultimately, it kind of just felt like Lucy and Charlie Brown. Like we have the ball there, we think we're gonna kick it in, and now we just kind of slip. And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and it feels like Toicher rightfully so got a lot of heat from it, but I feel like we also shouldn't overlook Klaus. Now, granted, I think this was one of Klaus's better games. Which is kind of saying a lot and not at the same time.
Well, on FOTMOP, his rating was 6.4. So if that's one of his better matches, geez, I hope that there's something else there. AJ, you, let's see. Would you believe, AJ, which team do you think had more shots yesterday? St. Louis or Colorado?
I got to say, it feels like Colorado.
Actually, St. Louis had one more shot than Colorado did. St. Louis had 12, Colorado 11. But now let's flip that on its head. Which team do you think had more shots on target?
100% Colorado has to be, right?
Yeah. Yep. Colorado had 5, while St. Louis had one shot on target. That means that little piss dribble that Toiker did in the 42nd minute or so, that was our best shot all night. Now, I got to tell you, Andre, you said that you were kind of flipping back and forth. AJ, I'm sure you watched the whole thing. I tried. I went upstairs and I was laying in bed with my laptop on my stomach, and I fell asleep. I literally, my brain would not let me focus anymore on this at like the 70th minute. And I did not care. I woke up, saw that it was a 1-0 loss, and I was like, yep, that checks out. That checks out. Now, AJ, we saw that Colorado scored on a goal where our man Yarrow seemed to just kind of be ball watching once again. What were your thoughts on that goal?
Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Matt Baker had posted, I'm pretty sure it was Matt Baker that had posted, I think that was on that goal where the rest of the defense was lined up, keeping everybody essentially offsides, except for Yarrow, who was at least 10 steps towards Berkey, that allowed the goal scorer to be on sides. Had he paid attention and stayed with the rest of his line, the guy would have been offsides and this would not have been a goal. That's all I got to say.
My God. I did not realize that. That's awful.
It is.
I was not expecting that. So we could perseverate on this game forever. However, let's try to take a little positive spin. Well, not yet. Let's be sad for a little bit longer. We are now 11 weeks without a win. 11 weeks. And just to kind of put some things into perspective, I was trying to figure out what are some things that you could have done as a person in the world in that time span. So here's some things that it takes more than 4 weeks to do. If you were to apply for a passport from the beginning to the end with all the bureaucracy, it'll take you about 10 weeks to get your passport in the mail. That's how long it takes to, that's how long time has been gone since City's last win. If you were to apply for a teaching certificate, it could take you up to 12 weeks to get that certificate in the mail. That's how much time has gone by since City has last won. What do you guys think of? Do you guys have anything in perspective that you could add? Some things that take a long time to do?
I have some marigolds that I planted around.
Oh my
I'm not even
God.
kidding. That I planted in March, maybe right before St. Patrick's Day, and they're starting to flower now. So that's how long it's been.
You have created plant life in the time it took City from its last win.
Yeah, essentially.
Oh my God, you have created life. AJ, is there anything that have you created life since City's last win?
I wouldn't say life. I basically tore down a 16-foot boat to the hull and rebuilt it back up, including electronics, steering, putting the motor on and everything in just under 2 months.
Okay. I went through an entire track and field season with my middle school students. From the beginning to the end, we had like 12 meets.
Wow.
That's how long it's been since City last won. It feels like, you guys remember the team we actually beat for our last win of the season so far? That was Seattle. I remember that
Seattle,
game.
yeah.
I think didn't Lumen score our one goal? Like he scored our goal that wound up winning the game. And like
the set piece, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
amazing set piece.
Yep.
And like
Yep.
I guess it's one of those things where you didn't know the world was going to end when you saw that thing. All right.
The one final shot.
I have a couple of goal or no goals. And let me guys know what you think about this. So on Reddit, TJ Broy says, I remember feeling so hopeful at the end of last season. Now, sitting down to watch a game feels like clocking into a true or fall or a goal or no goal. It feels like it is now a task to watch this team play.
I think goal. Yeah, like it's just because playoffs are pretty much out the window, right? So now it's like, what are we watching this for? And there's not like we're seeing any improvement week to week either.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I would argue the opposite of that. So,
All right, AJ.
I mean, for me personally, I got to say no goal. I mean, the thing is I still have other enjoyment other than just watching the game. Like for me, it's like the one game a week I can look forward to. It's like my free time. That's my me time. That's how I kind of look at it. And then what's kind of cool is we get to do this podcast like this. Like this podcast is a lot of fun to do. It's like, bro time to hang out and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's more to it than just the game. Like if I'm just looking at a result, then absolutely I could say goal, but it's not just a game for me personally. It's, something that I decided to follow. It's something that I decided to hang out with you guys doing. So I'm going to say no goal on this, but I get the sentiment.
Yeah.
I really do.
You know what? I got love. Love.
Aw.
How about a follow up?
Aw.
How about follow up to that? Slow Brilliant responded to that post says, or like you're doing a favor for someone that you really wish you didn't agree to do.
that is love. So, yes, that is true.
To that,
Oh.
a guy named or person named Formal Let said, at this point, if they don't fire Olaf Monday morning, I'm willingly offering myself and my truck to help people move on Saturday nights, just so they could get out of watching. All right, I got
They're not gonna
another
fire
one
him.
here. Goal or no goal? Let's face it. Now, this is also on Reddit. If you're watching this team this late after this rain delay, you are a masochist. Goal or no goal? You've got to be a masochist to keep watching. Watch that game from
Goal.
last night. Yep.
All right, I got you. I got
Nice.
one, right? This one is on the Olaf thing. All right. Losing for Justin Gibson on Blue Sky said, more losing for City. Losing 1-0 to the Cronky Rapids of Colorado. Olaf must go. Now, the reason I brought it up is because Cronky has a storied history here in St.
Yeah.
Louis. Does that make it worse?
I think the first year
Yeah.
when we split with them, it felt bad. But at this point, we're all in the this is fine meme with the kitchen on fire. At this point, it's just like, yep, it is. AJ, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, I agree. It does make it feel a little worse as it's Cronky, but as Steve said, like the place is already on fire. Like, how much worse can it really get?
Okay. But wait, does anyone know what the record is for a winless streak?
You know what? I don't know the record. Do you know it? Do you have it offhand? Do you have it with you right now? Because
Well, I see two different numbers. According to Google, it's 14 games.
No.
But I don't think that's
Well,
right.
because
I think someone else posted that it's 19
Galaxy
games.
hasn't won yet this year. They haven't won a match. They've drawn a couple
Okay, so
of
I think
times.
this season currently is 14 games, and that's Galaxy. That's who is
Yeah.
listed.
Well, they have two in hand because,
So-
yep. It's bad. I remember last year at this time, like there was talk that we would, if we made the playoffs, it would be the team with the most amount of draws that would make playoff eligibility because of all the draws we had. And we went from like the second year expansion team was what people were trying to do. All right. Let's go. Let's do one more goal or no goal on Discord. Sad Face says, might as well let Olaf finish the season at this point and start fresh next year. We also need some better players. Goal or no goal. Let them finish out the season. Let's get some more players in.
No goal.
All right. What about you, AJ?
Man, I started having this epiphany earlier today about should he actually finish out? And part of it is, okay, so we fire him and then what? Like, what do we gain at this point?
Well,
I mean, we're not going to make the playoffs, right?
right. Do you want to take us to court?
I like that. Okay, guys. So what we're going to do here, we're entering the courtroom of AJ here, and we have the prosecutor, Andre, who's going to prosecute Olaf, and we have his defender, his champion, Steve.
Oh, man, I'm a public defender.
And what I think is funny is if you guys go back and listen a few weeks ago to earlier episode, I think we were on opposite sides of this.
Probably were. You know, I've
This is hilarious.
I've gained some new perspectives, I'll say. I'm open-minded, Andre. Let's see what your side is about.
All right, so I'm telling you, I think he has to go, man. And he has no solutions for whatever we're seeing out there, right? As a matter of fact, there's a good chance he actually might be gone. We'll see. And Lute was on record of saying that within the next 2 days, they're going to see what's working, what's not working, and make some decisions in the next few days. So take that for what it means. Maybe it's change of direction in leadership. Maybe it's just change of formations. I don't know. But he seems like he's wearing out his welcome within the team. When you see this team playing, you see like a team that has no direction. Players are getting frustrated. They say they're getting frustrated with the losses. I think the frustration is coming from Olaf. A couple of
Hmm.
weeks ago, there was one incident in which Klaus kind of just pushed Olaf to the side. And again, this speaks more to do people even like Olaf having him around? He does have a bit of an arrogance when you see him on the sidelines. Doesn't bother to wear pants. He always wears sandals and shorts because he can't be bothered to focus on that. He's focused on soccer.
This dude's worried about
and on the
shorts.
team. Right. So I'm just saying, hey, witty bitty collars, those baggy ass flip flops and shorts, right? Like it's just bad omen for the team. But more than anything, right? He is reluctant. He's very stubborn, right? We see him make a halftime adjustment where he changed the formation, brought Pompeo in, and that was the one time we saw him that he actually gave a crap. He subs in like offensive players with defensive ones. We keep going 5 wide in the back. I mean, come on, like there's no reason why I want to keep him here. Keeping him here longer just going to lose more of the locker room. It's going to make it harder for us to sign talent. What do you guys think?
Argued.
All right. Well, it's kind of hard to argue with the fit check, I guess. But if we were winning, we'd all be in. You know what? As a middle school teacher, the whole generation coming up is nothing but Crocs and shorts anyway, baggy shorts. So, I think Olaf is a trendsetter, so we got to give him that. What do we do if we fired this guy? That's the thing. What do? We force Hackworth to come up and be the interim again, or we find another interim, and then guess what? There's several positions that are going to be open in American soccer head coaching jobs that are so much better than St. Louis. I'm sure Miami's going to fire their head coach. I'm sure Vanny's probably going to be out, even though he just signed an extension. They went from first. LA Galaxy may win the cup and the spoon the following season. That has never happened in the 36 years of the MLS. You've got probably New York that's coming open. You've got some other positions that are definitely going to be open. So we're going to try to find yet another head coach in 4 years. Our organization is a joke. I have a feeling that the players that are here now were built off of Lutz's idea for Carnell. I think it's safe to say that Carnell and Olaf are two very different coaches, two very minded coaches. You've got Carnell, who is an offensive-minded team with the press and striking. You got Olaf, who wants to do defense. And right now, we've got pretty much. We actually argued this earlier in the season. Like it doesn't look like it fits. The players and the coaches aren't working out, and we got to give them at least another. Probably, you know what? I'm going to say it. We got to give them another year. We can't even fire them at the end of this season, because it hasn't even been enough for this season. We're going to have to give them another season, at least another first part of the season. If it comes out to be fired, that's fine. Prove me wrong. But got to give this guy time to give him enough rope to hang himself. So there's really not much that can be won from firing a head coach again mid-season.
Wow,
While
Steve.
That is true, while that is true, I would also argue that the fans are also clamoring for Olaf's head. And while it sets a bad precedent to always cave into your fans, fire him would be a signal to the fans that the team is listening to us.
I think the fans are clamoring for an answer. They're clamoring for someone in that front office to act like they give a damn. You've got several members of our front office that like to go out and do community service stuff and look fun, look friendly. Lutz likes to brush his hair back and act super cool on a very friendly podcast. Yet we're not hearing them say, God, guys, this kind of does suck. But you know what? I don't think a lot of MLS teams are doing that. I think if you look at the teams that are struggling, I don't think their ownerships are going out. And I think this is probably endemic for a lot of the fan bases that are struggling, where it's a black box of information. But I think if City were to come out and just say something, it would matter and it would help. And if we got to win, all of a sudden you would see the fans stop calling for his head. Again, I will add, the supporters groups are completely silent. The only thing you have are podcasts that won't be named creating drama, creating fake storylines to get clicks and listens and views, but nothing real is happening.
What's your verdict, AJ?
I'm not going to lie, guys. Steve had me to the point where he said another year on top of this. And I was like, okay, Steve, you're making really great arguments here. And then you said another year,
Oh, I
and then
toikered
just
it.
that pit in my stomach.
I toikered it.
Yes, you did.
Fuck toikered it.
I just can't do it, Steve. I just can't do it.
Son of a vermilion.
But you know what? You guys both did such a great job. I hate to do this. I have to call a mistrial on this one. I have to.
So he stays.
I love what Andre
It's a
said.
win.
He made great arguments. He's basically saying what we
Yep.
all feel at this point.
Sounds like
Yeah,
But Steve,
AJ says Andre
that's what they
sucks.
did with OJ.
Andre's stupid is what AJ said. Well, I totally agree.
That's also what they did with OJ, and look how that turned out.
Hey, if he killed her, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I were the killer,
Well,
yeah.
It feels like Olaf is doing his best OJ on this team.
Hey man, that dude don't wear no gloves, so I think we're okay. If you see Olaf out there in
Yeah,
gloves,
right.
you know what? Hartle's out there wearing gloves now. Look out for that cat.
Bartle
Yeah, I
and
feel like
Celio.
Olaf- yeah, I feel like Olaf is gonna try to put on pants over his basketball shorts and says, "Nope, doesn't fit. It wasn't me."
Oopsie doopsie, you know. All right, we're getting delirious.
There's something I wanted to kind of just bring up, right?
Right.
So St. Louis plays San Jose next
Yeah,
on next weekend, right? Galaxy plays San Jose this Wednesday.
Oh.
And then they play Salt Lake on the 31st. Okay? Then after that is St. Louis versus Galaxy. There's a very good chance that we go winless up until our match.
Oh yeah. Well, so I think it's interesting that you saw that Galaxy plays San Jose on Wednesday. So San Jose has to play. So they don't. So they have a midweek game in between Saturday games this week. I think that'll be interesting to see how San Jose plays against another gutter team, because if they lose against Galaxy, they're a wounded animal, if you will. If they blow Galaxy out, they're coming in here and they're going to win 4-0.
Okay, so agreed. So the thing is, between now and June 14th, right?
That's so long.
Who gets to win first, us or Galaxy?
So we play.
We play San Jose, then we play Portland.
Oh fuck, we're not beating Portland. It's got to be Galaxy. It's got to be Galaxy. It's got to be Galaxy. I isn't that awful? It's got to be Galaxy. There's no way that no.
Okay, if we lose to Galaxy, then do we turn the ship and say fire Olaf?
I think you know what? I'm going to have to probably at that point it will probably be out of his hands. It'll even be out of Lutz's hands, because at that point then we're seeing 18,000 people at these games. We're not seeing anything close to a sellout. I think at that point if we lose at home against San Jose, then we go to Portland and lose, and then we come back home and lose to Galaxy it's like a 1:00 game even. Like that is prime time Saturday afternoon. That is toast. It's got to be toast. Like, because that's going into the summer transfer window. But this is why I'm saying they're not going to get rid of them, because we have another summer transfer window. What players are we going to get for what coach? So like, it's awful that we have to discuss this, but
Right, but and I agree. I feel like Olaf was asked to prepare the meal, was not allowed to shop for the ingredients. Right.
And he's also probably not allowed to pick every ingredient. He's being told, like, we have these players, we paid a lot of money for these players. You're going to put these players on the field.
Right. So, and I do see that argument of letting him stick around just so he can kind of maybe have something he can build himself. Especially because a lot of our players are kind of the contract expiring at the end of the season.
We got so many. There's like 12 players that are coming off contract.
Mm-hmm.
That would be an easy way to get rid of them at that point, because then you could be working with a coach now to come in and say, like, what kind of players are you looking for? Because they probably didn't do that. They probably were like picking up some players and forcing a coach to find that identity around there, which would make sense that the team doesn't have an identity because they're just dueling. So I noticed today that we're 8 point City right now is 8 points out of a playoff spot, but only 7 points away from having the spoon. Like, we are on the cusp of one or the other. And I think this week is going to really play a lot into that. Because you've got a tired San Jose team. San Jose is on the road, or it's in California, so it's basically a home game still because they're right next to each other.
For
San Jose or Galaxy. It's a bus ride, really. So, they're coming over here. Yeah, it'll be toast. All right. I don't think you have actually taken part in this game. This is called Guess the Player. Have you played Guess the Player with us?
I think I might have had a brief introduction to
So we'll do a couple.
Let's do it.
So I'm going to give you a player. I'm going to give you 3 tries, and the clues get easier as we go on. These are all active players right now on City's roster. So hint number 1, I'm a dual national who's played in both the Bundesliga and MLS.
Bundesliga and MLS. Is it
And if you want to pull a roster up,
right? Is it Baumgartner?
It is not. It is not. All right. So for 3 points, hint number 2. Before joining St. Louis SC, I wore the sky blue of NYCFC.
NYC. Is that Hardo?
It is not. Because Hardo came right from the Bundesliga. Hardo had not played. So hint number 3 for 1 point. This will be a little easier for you. I'm a hard-nosed central midfielder known for my grit, and my name's Alfredo. Yep. Oh, you got it. Look at you. Yeah. All right. The next one for 5 points. I played in Portugal, Greece, England, and now the U.S. Again, I did pull these right off of – I went on the City app. I pulled – all these names are currently City main team players. I wanted to go City too, but that'd just be me.
No, did not. Way off.
And they're only players.
Dude, I have no idea. I'm just go with Baumgartner again.
Sorry, for 3 points. I'm an attacker with flair and speed, and I joined City on loan before making it permanent. So he's on loan right now, I think.
Okay. Then Silva?
Yes, it is Silva. Good job.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Let's skip down. All right, for 5 points. I was drafted out of UConn and started my career in the Big Apple.
So that's hard.
It is not. So again, I was drafted out of UConn and started my career in the Big Apple. Hint number 2. I joined City SC in 2024 as a versatile left-sided player. So he joined the team last year.
Toicher?
And hint number 1 for 1 point. Hint number 3, 1 point. My name is Jaden, but no relation to Justin or Jaden Smith.
Jaden? I don't know. I'm thinking
he spent a lot of time on our 2 team last year, but now he's moved up kind of to
Girdwood Reich?
No, it is Jaden Reed. Let's do one more. Maybe a redemption one for you. All right. I've played in both the Bundesliga and the Eredivisie before coming to the MLS.
Dude, boy, again, all of our players are from Bundesliga at this point.
They're all German. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
You can do it. You can do it. Don't doubt yourself.
All right.
Don't doubt yourself.
That's
Baumgartner.
How to get it right.
Yep. All right. So, guys, this has been 36 minutes, and we actually only discussed the match for like the first 10. This is where we are with this team. We are showing up, even though the team isn't. But, like, we don't have to hyperventilate over the match. It was definitely not a great match. That stadium, I don't like that stadium that much. But we are coming home this week, right? Yeah. Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I think we're home. It's just
good. All right, so the team comes home. Hopefully something changes. We don't want to see our head coach fired just early. I think Andre and I are in agreement. I'm going to jump over to the prosecution side. If we lose the next 3 games, we got to go. This has got to go. Or it is brown bag time for the supporter section. They got to brown bag this. It's just ridiculous. All right, but you know what? It's late. let's go ahead. Let's get ready to send this thing off. We can have some passion. We gotta find a wall, punch a hole in that, as AJ would say, punch a hole in that wall, stand up and go, "Oh, for City, baby!"
All for City, baby.
Nice.